podcast to grow with. The clarity is potent. Take a pause in the moment. Breathe deep, let the soul lift. The podcast is to grow with. The clarity is potent. Take a pause in the moment. Breathe deep, let the soul lift. The podcast is to grow with. The clarity is potent.
Hey everyone, thank you for joining us on another episode of the Dynamic Pause podcast with Coach Angie. And today with Tyisha Brown L. This woman is amazing, and I want you to hear more from her about herself. I want her to sit so comfortably in talking about herself, but just wanted to tell you a little bit about her so that you guys can understand why it was so important for me to bring her to the stage today. So Tyisha is an educator, MBA. Don't get it twisted. MBA and is an educator, facilitator, and speaker who helps leaders and students turn vision into execution. Love that. With more than 7 years of experience leading workshops, trainings, and community programs across Washington State. She specializes in goal setting, professional development, and execution systems that move people from intention to action. That's what I'm talking about. And I'm a testament to that because I had the privilege of participating in a workshop you did in one of our networking spaces. And I have captured that thing and taken it with me and using it. It's actually on the other side of that wall over there. You can see my bingo card. Okay. But anyway, so that's just a brief summary. There's more. Tell us more about who you are, what you do, all of your many things.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. This is so
I'm so glad.
I love this so much. So I was in education for 7 years, and being in education, you realize just how much red tape there is. Being in any type of educational setting, there's red tape. In the classroom, it's not as political. It is when you get out of classroom. And so I knew that I love teaching, and I knew that I think I'm just really good at it. I think I'm really good at doing these types of things. So I wanted to step away from the districts, and then I started my own thing. And so that's kind of how I got into speaking a little bit more. And then the goal setting, I've been really avid about goal setting since I would say I was young. My mom kind of made us do all that.
That's so cool.
And then I realized I tested the theory out. So before I did the whole bingo thing, I did it on myself first.
Okay.
So the first quarter of this year, that's when I did it. And then I realized how much more I got done. And then I was like, oh, someone else needs to know about this. And then that's literally when I did the workshop. And then every time I do it, everybody loves it. So
Oh, yeah. It is. You would think as leaders that we have that part down because we're usually helping other people set their goals and helping other people reach their thing. Game changer. And actually with my last guest, we were just chatting after the taping and I showed it to him and he was like, oh, wow, I like that. I said, I'm going to have to hit you up with her links. But no, it's really cool. I love that. And I can't wait to get into this conversation. So
for sure.
I'm already intrigued. So tell us a little bit more about your leadership journey. Where did that formation start to take shape?
I would say in high school, probably. Okay. It's funny because I wouldn't say I was like a 3-sport athlete, but I participated in a couple sports. My sister did volleyball. And I was a volleyball manager. At the time, my mom couldn't buy us both A and B. So I had to wait until spring sports.
Okay.
And so I went into basketball. It was trash. Don't worry about that. I haven't touched the basketball since, and that's for the grace of everybody else. And so, but then I was like, okay, how can I still be involved? So I was working with volleyball, helping them get the balls, traveling with them, doing all those types of things. And then Coach Kitten came to Lincoln, and he was a former NFL coach. And then I got involved with football. Okay. So me and my sister became football managers. How she was doing football manager and volleyball at the same time, I actually don't know.
Okay.
Actually, that was funny. I have to talk to her about how does she do that? But so then I got started with football, fell in love with that. And that's kind of when I started realizing that I like being in those types of roles. I don't like being on the forefront.
Sure.
I don't like being in front of everything. I like being on the back end, doing everything.
How it making sure it works.
Making sure the system works. What's going on? How can I think ahead? So that's kind of where it started. And then going into college, I went to Washington State. So I went to Wazoo. I had a lot of leaders who were pouring into me in high school.
I love it.
So we had a lot of, and it's funny because I lost my dad at a very young age. And so there was a lot of Black men and men who were playing a father kind of figure role in my life, that allowed me to step into those leadership roles a little bit more confident and stuff like that.
Right.
And so going from that to to college, it kind of just started doing more. The first year was a little struggle because it was like you're going on this big campus, it's PWI, you're in the middle of nowhere, it's hot as all get out. It's hot when you first get there.
Sure.
So then I kind of just started working. I was like, I just need money. I don't want to be a broke college student. That was something that everybody kept talking about. I got into network marketing. That's really funny because I forget about that. And I was thinking about that on the way over here. I was like, how did I get into leadership? And it was all network marketing. Everybody talks about it. Everybody talks about MLM and all the scams. It was a cult. It literally was, but it was all tied to personal development.
You making me laugh, but yeah.
Honestly, it was. I literally, how people feel about religion is like low-key how I felt about the company.
Sure.
It seriously, every time I talk about it, everybody who was involved, it says the best thing that's ever happened to me because it changed my mindset. It wasn't about the company. It wasn't about making $1 million. It wasn't about getting a free car. It wasn't about the product itself.
Yeah.
It was about the trainings. And so when I started doing the training, so when you got someone to come on your team and they bought the product, now you have to train them. You have to train them the same days. You don't have a lot of time. It's not like, okay, we'll start training a week. No, we're starting training tonight.
If you want your team to grow.
So so we were so adamant about that. And so we had to learn how to train people. Wow. So that was my first time kind of training. And then me and my sister have a story when we kind of, we switched schools.
Okay.
So I can get more training. And so she went to Wazoo and I went to Langston. And we had this idea of being able to really, hone in on the training. And she was already trained and I was learning to get trained because she was working home when I was in Washington. And so that's kind of where it all started. We really were doing, say, a year and a half, 2 years. And then some things started happening with the company, which it's, the company itself wasn't the problem. It was the way people were talking about it.
Sure.
And then it just got too big to where people were just doing too much. And they're good people, bad people, and everything.
Oh, always.
So after that, that company got shut down. But again, at the hands down, I would do it all over again.
That's so cool. I've never really had that kind of feedback from someone who's done it. I know a lot of people who have done it and they're good. Like, some of them just when the company they're working for doesn't work out, they'll switch to the next one.
Yeah,
that they really believe in the product that they're selling. And I know that that's the difference between some of the success, some of the difference.
Yeah,
but there's something else I think that connects to it. So I'm curious. I'm going to ask you this next question to see if my theory is going to work out. Okay. So what part of this journey felt natural to you that it almost doesn't count as work?
Talking about.
When did you first discover that was effortless in a way?
Okay, well, the network.
Yeah.
I have a marketing company. So like, once I learned information and just getting in front of talking to friends, people wasn't really a big deal.
Okay.
And then that transpired into the summer camp, which I did before I graduated.
Okay.
I went to Maryland for a summer. It was on a Navy base working with kids. So we were just doing, because most of those students we were working with, their parents were deployed. So we try to keep them busy, try to keep them, their spirits high. It's not school, it's art projects, it's field trips. So that's kind of when I started getting involved with youth.
Okay.
Mirroring, putting the two together because VEMA had already shut down by then. So after that happened, I got into the camp counselor position. I was supposed to go to Japan after I graduated. Didn't work out. Military has a lot of paperwork, a lot of processes. And I just wasn't making any money.
Yeah.
I stopped working because I was supposed to go to Japan in June.
Sure.
People didn't leave until the end of July, but a car payment's due in June and a car payment
is due.
And I had no money. So I was like, okay, well, I got to go figure something out. So then I didn't want to stay home with my mom. No shade to that. So then I drove across the country with my dog to Oklahoma.
Wow.
My sister was still there. So I moved there for 2 years. One of her sorority sisters, I wasn't in the sorority at the time, but she had told me she was a special ed teacher and she was at the school. She's like, you should just apply and see how it goes. I applied, got hired on the spot. Like they went to the back, like, okay, let's talk real quick. Okay, so let's show you your class. Mind you, this is in 2017. I was making $37,000.
But it was Oklahoma.
Well, I drove up. Yeah, the gas was $1.80.
That's what I was gonna say. It's a whole different experience over there. Yeah.
A 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment was $800. Me and my two were splitting them.
Yeah.
$400.
Yeah.
And I had no kids. All I had was
It was
a dog.
fine.
So it was like, I was fine. I'm
Yes.
not married. I have no kids. I have no one to take care of but myself and my dog. So like that $37,000 wasn't terrible. But then I did go start serving. So then I started making more. And then that's kind of where I started traveling more and I did that in college too.
Okay.
Because I was talking to people and they're like, what's something that you always, like, you wish you would have done younger? I mean, 9.5 times out of 10, everybody says travel. When I was in school, I went to Dubai, Thailand, Singapore, Bali, all around the United States because with network marketing, that's also when I got exposed to travel. I went to Vegas so many times. I went to LA, San Diego, went to Phoenix, like literally that's why I say network marketing was the best thing that ever happened because it got me into spaces that I probably wouldn't have done if I just stayed in school.
Yeah. Or to take you a lot longer because it sounds like you have something in you just like bubbling up for like adventure. Your general positioning seems to be open, not closed. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I could see how you could have gone, why wait? If it's right there.
I would say my confidence, traveling to space, all started with network marketing. And then that kind of sparked the entrepreneurship. And
now you're sitting here pouring into other people.
Yeah.
I love that. And the fact that you're still drawn to working with the youth and having them have a different experience than they may have. It's the idea of letting your mind go somewhere that you don't normally think to go. And somebody opening that lane up for you because you don't know what you don't know. You know what I'm saying? But if someone opens that up for you or opens up that space for something that you're thinking or exploring and it's safe to explore it out loud, that's gold, right? Okay, so you and I have talked about the premise behind my coach approach and because all of that. And the pillars that surround that and how I really just believe that leaders, especially high-performing leaders, highly productive leaders like yourself, just deserve more of the pause kind of moments than we actually give ourselves, right? Yeah. So as a Black woman entrepreneur in the education and consulting space, you've navigated unique challenges for sure. Can you share a moment when you had to pause and breathe and recalibrate your approach?
Education.
Okay, tell me about it.
Yeah, leaving education was really hard. It was the most toxic job I've ever had. I do not suggest anyone go into education as a teacher, admin, and none of those types of things. But you're so locked in that it's hard to leave.
Okay.
Because I had probably over 250 kids, like with all my years combined. I would say maybe no more than 300. And you kind of get attached. You know what I mean? Like you get attached to them. You feel like you are failing or you feel like you're giving up and all those types of things. But then I realized that my self-care really meant a lot. So when did that start? 2022. I started losing a lot of people.
Okay.
So I lost my stepdad. I lost my grandma within a month. Like she had just came to the funeral and then she's like, oh my God, I didn't realize this was real. And then a month later, I got a call in the school building right after school that she had passed. So then there's that. So that happened. And then it's like, you start drinking a lot. You start getting stressed out from the job itself because the kids still got to get taught. Like, you know what I mean? I can only put in so much sick time. I just use sick time.
Yeah.
So now I don't have bereavement time. Even if it is that you only get like 2 days.
Right. What is that? It's like
48 hours.
It's like 2 years to get over someone's death.
2.
I mean, I do too.
Like, I literally go to Oklahoma on Friday for a friend who passed like 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's funny that you went young because his favorite color was yellow. So it's really funny how that happened. So but that was a moment where I really was like, I was drinking a lot. I got to my heaviest. Was eating out, spending a lot of money, wasting a lot, getting into a lot of debt because of the things that I was doing. And so that is kind of when I was like, okay, Ty, things are hitting the fan. You got no money. You're gaining weight. Your face, I looked at a video. My face looked like I had wisdom teeth. Like my face was swollen and chunky. I was like, oh my God.
Your battle was happening on the inside. Like all the things that was going on.
So leaving education took a lot because I'm a very person. I'm gonna go as far as it takes. Like don't worry about the principal, we're going to the
Right.
I'm the type of person who will keep going that far.
Sure.
And so it just got to the point where I just kept doing that, and I just was like hating my job. Like I would walk in and just be like, still here. Well, I did 7 years, but I did 2 years too many. Those last 2 years were the worst 2 years. And so that was when I was like, okay, Ty, you really got to figure it out. This is not making you happy. You're young. You have no kids. You're not stuck anywhere. I could literally move tomorrow and not have that big.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like, you might as well figure it out now before you get stuck, because also the other generation was saying they didn't travel and they did the same thing for 20, 30 years.
The other people who were in that space.
Yeah. I'm like, you've been here for 30 years and it only progressively got worse and you stayed? Woo. Don't do that. Right. You don't actually have to do that. Now, I'm not supporting job hopping and doing all those types of things.
Yeah.
So what I am saying is figure out if it's not going to work out. And all of us said every single year I need to make more money. So if I don't care if it's $1 more, $100, $1,000, I need to make more money. So that was what I was doing. I was making more money each year. You know, your contract would go up. I was making money as serving. I was doing all those things. So I kept making more money, and it still wasn't enough. That was the moment where I was like, okay, Ty, you really got to figure this out. And so that was a changing point, but leaving education was the best thing I ever did.
Wow.
Outside of network marketing, the second best thing.
Second best thing.
Leaving education.
And it sounds like the pause that you needed, you knew it was there. And you used the word self-care earlier. You said you had to think about your self-care and how you might prioritize that. And the external factors were definitely a high influence. What was going on as far as as internal factors when you were trying to decide when, how, if, because so many things come to mind internally as a person.
It for me was just how much more can you take before a breaking point? And then so after losing a lot of people, I wouldn't say became suicidal, but thinking about death was heavy.
Right.
Just
what's it all for?
My death. Yeah, seems easier on that side.
They don't have to worry no more.
I ain't got no bills. I ain't got no work. So it seemed easier on that side. So I wouldn't say I became suicidal, but I would say it seems like it would be easier if I wasn't here. That's what I do. Obviously love life. And life is beautiful.
Of course, yeah.
You have those experiences when I think, I really pride myself in traveling. And traveling is my getaway, my escaping reality. So I try to do as much as possible, but having those thoughts and not really knowing where to go with it and things like that, everything was like, oh, what if I just got in a car accident? This would be fine, actually. I would be okay. What if I just drink too much? That would be
straight up
so it was really so that was kind of my thing, was just having all those negative thoughts, having those moments where I was just like, this isn't okay.
Yeah.
And so that's what I would say for sure.
You let yourself hear those things, though, because sometimes in those spots we don't let ourselves hear that, and sometimes we got people in our life. So I was thinking, who in your life, whether it's current or even back then, sees a version of you that you hadn't fully stepped into yet, and what did they see?
I would say a lot of my male friends see they edify us very well. So edifying is what we used to do in network marketing.
Okay.
We were bringing up the next speaker. So whoever brought us on the leadership, we were like, oh my God, this guy, Keith, he is he's 25 years old. He's in his master's degree. He has a child. He's out here doing all this. He got a free car. So that's all edifying. Okay. So that's all we would do over and over and over again. So then people would do that for us as well, because they're like, these twins are from Washington State. They're 18 years old. They're doing all these things. They're killing it and all this type of stuff. So once people started doing that, naturally, one of my friends, Jamari or Ronte or DK is the one who passed, and he would always do it. So they would see those things. They're just like, Todd, you know that. What you built for this. I talk about you when I'm doing good things. So those types of conversation, having those type of people in my life was really helpful. And then even when we were in high school, they said, yeah, you guys are gonna be millionaires. And I was like, you don't tell that 18-year-old that.
I know.
How? Yeah. If you know, let me know. But how? When is it going to happen?
Yeah.
So, but I always came across this point where I knew that I was going to live a very, I wouldn't say lavish. I mean, I would say lavish. I would all those types of things. It's all coming. And so I really appreciate these small moments. Being broke and being driving across the country, waiting for a job, or not having money in the account, or whatever, those types of things. And I wouldn't even say I'm at the point where I'm like living that lavish life, but if people talk to me and talking so highly of me, then why am I doubting myself?
Right.
So it just became a lot easier when people start doing that. And then even like getting into Noor and doing those types of things, everybody just starts kind of saying those types of things to me. So it's like, I've heard this since I was 18. I'm 30 now. 12 years later, I'm still hearing the same things. I am making more money. I am doing more things. So it's like, so eventually something's going to pay off. And I don't know which, something's going to make it happen. You know what I mean? So whenever that is, and I've been reading, I've been a little bit more spiritual, God's going to just make it happen.
Yeah.
And I just got to get out my own way. My own way is my thoughts.
And as much as you might feel like you're behind because you've been hearing it since you're 18, you're still so far ahead of the game. If there was a race, there's no race, but if there was a race, girl, you way ahead. Because when I'm thinking of like, I'm probably 2 generations in front of you, probably, and I didn't start having those thoughts way later. So we're all kind of made up of different stuff in our environments and things like that. But there's a through line that you mentioned that is the same for all of us. And it has something to do with when that light goes on and we actually see our value and we actually believe the things that other people are saying and seeing. Because I can recall, like, even in my personal pause before I got there, because I was a little hard-headed. So I just got to get beat up 1,000 times first, literally, and knocked over and all that. But when
I was like, get it together, but here's another one.
One of the things that I recognize is that as I was navigating life and having these experiences, I, like you, was hearing positive things and all of that. I never denied those things, but I also never paused long enough to let them sink in. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't going, if someone says, oh, you did a great job, I didn't turn around and say, no, it didn't, it sucked. No, I knew I was doing a great job at something, but I didn't put the weight in it as far as from an identity piece, because I think we need to capture some of that stuff and own some of that stuff and know that our humbleness can still come through. But yeah, own it. Like, you're very good at what you do, so it's okay. If say it to yourself in the mirror, you know, like, and believe it, so that when other people are saying it, you still humbly are receiving that compliment, but you're not denying it in your head or pushing past it because you're just disregarding yourself a little bit more, right? I was thinking, we're Black women. And so what cultural or systemic barriers have you accepted as, like, that's just how it is, right? Instead of something you could challenge or navigate differently?
I kind of challenge everything.
Good. You know, when I was writing this question, I was like, I hope she said, you know, I had this in the back of my mind, like, she's going to have an answer different than
I do. I feel like I do. I feel like right is right, wrong is wrong. Like, I feel like we should have to deal with that types of things. Like, especially in teaching, you have those tenured, you have those teachers who's always been here. And they say this. I'm like, but why?
Yeah.
It's 2025. What are you talking about? I don't care what you did in 2012. I don't care what you did in 2010. It's 2025, so it's like 2018, 2019. Like, but that doesn't even actually make sense. And people didn't like that.
Okay.
So I became that person who's like, you're hard to work with, or you need 7 years.
See, I had to exhale because
7 years of that. 7 years. She doesn't want to help. Did this, that, and the other. I remember right after my set that I passed, this one, my team was going in on me like, you need to do the bulletin board because you haven't been doing the bulletin board and you haven't really been helping. You haven't been staying after school, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, and me, I was just delirious at that point. I was just like a delusion. I was just laughing. I was just laughing. I was like, there's no way.
You're like, okay, I got dead people dropping like flies and you're going to talk to me about a bulletin board?
A bulletin board? I'm not losing my job from a bulletin board.
Right.
You're not losing your job from a bulletin board. So kids don't even look at the bulletin boards. They take them down. So for you to be challenging me and saying that I need to do the board, stop talking to her. That's up. I was like, and they want you to, oh my God, how are you guys supposed to look like you? That's not my teammate.
Right.
She made me teach in 7th grade.
Right.
She may be the grade level chair, but
Yeah.
she's not my teammate. She was going in, and no one else stood up for me. One person was like,
The
hey,
silence.
this, that, and the other. The silence is loud. No one else stood up for me. And everybody was like, you know, I challenge everything.
Yeah.
And they know how I am. And then they were just like, my vice principal was like, Tyisha, you care too much.
Wait. You're working in education.
I was like, if once you stop caring, your life will be easier. And I'm like, that's really hard for me. As a Pisces, as an emotional person I am, it's really hard for me to stop caring. And I care deep and I care hard.
Yeah.
So like to hear that and then to see how she was treating me, she didn't put it together and all those types of things. Like I really am the person who challenges a lot of different things because I know it doesn't make sense. And you're doing it because of compliance. I'm trying to make sure it actually is applicable and it matters. So people didn't like that. So I was always that person who doesn't follow the rules or who's that hard teammate or who's not teachable, coachable. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? What you're trying to teach me doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So I can teach a child 2 + 2 is 4, and I can show them. I can use manipulative. I can draw it out. If what you're telling me, you cannot teach it to me in 3 different ways.
Right. Then what are you doing? Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
I love that that approach, and even the use of the word challenge. Right? Yeah, you're challenging a thought process, really, but it really is you're just talking, negotiate. We negotiate some of this. So can we say, like, can we toss around these ideas and these thoughts, even when it is something that's been on the books for a long time?
Yeah.
I think the systemic piece connected to even that is that most people in a lot of generations, especially prior to yours, conditioned to not question stuff.
Yeah.
You come in, you get the law, you keep going.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And even if you did have questions, the space wasn't open to ask them. And
yeah, they would ask our opinion and they wouldn't even use our feedback.
And yeah. And I think like if you're asking opinions in a system that is very hardcore ran that way, we know if there's flexibility even in some of those. It's all about the leadership style, right? So if you don't have a leader that already understands the idea of negotiating with themselves on concepts, then they're not going to negotiate with others or things like concepts. Yes, you're in a position of power that if you hear from people who are working on your teams come back to you and you're getting the same questions, if everybody was brave enough to ask those questions, then you have the power to take that into another room that I don't get to go into and say, hey, can we rethink this? This is how students are showing up these days. This is how our educators are processing information these days. Can we revisit this? But instead, people just want to keep shaping people into these moments. Yeah. And so for the leader who has taken the opportunity to pause and breathe, metaphorically say, what the heck am I doing? Is this what I should be doing?
Yeah.
You knew that answer was no. That was a journey for you and how you got out of that. And from what you're sharing with me thus far, I'm imagining that you had some points where you were doing this internal negotiation type stuff. Do you navigate that tension between negotiating your time and energy, right? Between vision casting at that moment where you knew something needed to happen and then that execution? How do you get there? Like, what did that negotiation look like for you?
I would say it's more of like jump ship and build a raft kind of thing.
Oh, build it on the way down.
Yeah, because I didn't know what was going to be next. I knew that I was going to, I kept saying, this is my last year teaching. I kept saying, yeah, I'm not coming back at all next year. I'm not coming back to school. What? My name was on the door next door. There it is. And she is right on again. But then it just got to the point where I was just like, I came out here last summer. So I left Atlanta, came back to Washington for an internship in emergency management.
Okay.
And so once I came back for emergency management, I got exposed to this different world. And then only 3 months, I was like, oh yeah, this is way better. it's quiet. People trust me. They don't know me, but they trust me that I'm going to do my work. And it just got to the point where it was so much easier. It was so much easier. And I was like, okay, this is an opportunity. But then once the internship ended, I applied for a couple of jobs, didn't get those jobs. And so then I had to go back to teaching.
Okay.
Because I was what I would fall back on it. So I got a job at Puyallup at a school. I was the first Black teacher. And it's already a month into school. So they had to split up these classes and put them in another class. When I tell you the teacher was crying like someone died to take all the kids, you had 40 students. I would be like, let me pack your stuff up.
Right.
Get your stuff and go. You're good, man. Let's go. Let's figure it out. Like I would, but they were bawling, like they were grieving the fact they were being split up. So that was already a weird start.
Oh my
So
God.
now the kids are reacting like that. And then I do that, and then I go there and I'm just like teaching, and I don't like the curriculum. The curriculum is trash. They don't teach social studies because they don't like the curriculum. I'm like, that doesn't even make sense.
Y'all tripping.
You should do something. But everything was just too structured and became like, I don't get to teach, I have to read. So everybody hates state testing because you have to read from the book. You can't add in your own words, you can't do that.
Yeah.
But that's what curriculum's turning into. Say this, do this, draw this, prep this. And it's just like, I want to teach.
Yeah.
If the kids aren't reacting, then we can
just
adjust.
be able to adjust it.
So and I went back into the class and I was like, no, absolutely not. Can't do it. So then I'm getting, all of a sudden, this is when I stopped working. So I was unemployed for like 2 months. No money coming in. Nothing. I was like, I was using all my credit cards. So all my credit cards were pretty much maxed out. I was like, this is crazy. I was crying. I was like, that when I hit depression again. Then I went on a walk and I was like, God, I can't do this anymore. So you got it. Like I literally just can't do this anymore.
Right.
You got that same day. I got a call from PCBA because the money was coming in. From PCBA, money was coming in.
Yeah.
And then I got 2 more calls saying, 2 different job offers in emergency management. And so then I ended up teeter tottering to those because now I have options. I'm like, God, I have options. Like, oh, one job. And then the second job came and I was like, this is crazy. This is really crazy.
Right.
So I ended up going with the job now. So I'm at the state level and in emergency management. But it was really just about figuring it out. And my sister told me a book about everything is figure outable.
Okay.
Because like everything, you can figure it out.
You can do it.
Like I've been in debt and I haven't been in debt. I had more credit, I had better debt. So it's like nothing's permanent.
Right.
That's really the only thing permanent.
Right.
If you're not dead, you have opportunities to figure it out.
I love that. Y'all heard.
So it's like that was kind of what I went off of. And then all these opportunities started coming. But once you really give it to God and you just let him work and you just follow suit when he got you going, it really does change things. So like I started doing the 40-day prayer challenge. The book's called Jar Your Circle. And that really exposed a lot of things. And things just start coming in and things just start happening. It's like when you start praying regularly, irregular things start to happen.
Well,
you know, it's like, because like when we were growing up, my mom was like, we were Hebrews, so Hebrew is more of a lifestyle, it's not a religion. And so we were doing everything by the book. I mean, like we couldn't, sun after sundown, the Sabbath, couldn't do nothing, can't cook, can't work, can't talk to friends. People come to the door, you have to tell them you can't. My mom would be like, nope, she can't come outside. Like, and I told them not to come to, don't come to it. So why
get y'all making life hard for me?
Yeah, it really just became down to like, figure it out. And once things started figuring out, things just started getting better. Like, I mean, literally once I left education, I started seeing people do it. And I was like, hey, they seem like they're doing good over there. Like, dang. I mean, it's not even about money per se. It was
you're talking about how they are showing up.
They feel like they're doing good over there. So I was like, let me just see. Because I could always go back. I have a certification in 2 states. I can go back. You know, I need that ABA account for something. So I was like, okay, well, if it doesn't work out, then I'll just go back. I know that I do love teaching and I know that it'll be hard, but I'll be good at it. It'll be fine. But then now I'm in emergency management and it's different. It's slower. It's peaceful. Flexibility. I don't work today. It's Monday. I work 4 10s. Tuesday, and I only have to go to the office 1 day a week.
Nice.
No one's like, you didn't do this or you didn't turn this in or you can't eat lunch at this time. Like they're just like being adult. So my supervisor says we're all adults. Be an adult. Work your hours and do your work. It when it's a problem when your work's not getting done. And my work's getting done. Like he just treats you like an adult, and those things other jobs don't do. So once I was okay with releasing that, because you see those things where it's like the video where like the small teddy bear and the big teddy bear.
Mhm.
You're like, I don't want to get with this.
Exactly. And you're sitting,
I don't want to do this. I don't want that. I want this teddy bear. This is my teddy bear. It's the same. And then like once you're ready to let go, things are starting getting better. And I would say even now, like the position I'm in now has changed drastically. Once you really start releasing and letting go of those things that you know is not good for you, and then I had to let people go too.
Sure.
Like different like situationships, like my last relationship and things like that. So the navigating it was just give it to God.
Yeah.
Work through it. Literally something's good's gonna have to come from it. Because you let something you know hurting you go.
That's
You
so
just
good.
unplant that soil, you plant a new seed, that seed's gonna grow.
Yeah.
It's gonna start sprouting. And then eventually it's gonna be big. So I'm waiting, it's at medium size now. It's just medium size. Like, when I start getting to the medium and grand, that's what I'm looking for too. But right now in this moment I can genuinely say that life is 10 times better
than what it was. And I like the example you used about the teddy bears. And what I was thinking of when you were sharing that was that for people at home to understand, it's not to minimize what your bear was, because in your situation and in many of our situations, it was like a Build-A-Bear situation, because you actually built so intentional and you built that thing, you put it together, and that made it more personal. That's why it stands out and it's special on the shelf of all the things. And even with that, you can build again. Like the Build-A-Bear shop is still open.
9 to 5. If not longer in the wall.
You can do it. You can do it.
Every day for that.
You can decide to open up your own Build-A-Bear shop if the Build-A-Bear shop is closed. Okay.
Listen.
And that
you got to go to a few more stores. It's not a one-stop shop, but it's still possible.
That's it. And so with that line of thought, that last pillar of the pause is that pause to innovate. And it's that idea that you did pause to breathe. You let yourself do that, because we don't always let ourselves do that. There are people who were living your circumstance who are still in there, dying on the vine, like literally just withering away. Like you said, you asked them, oh, it's been like this. And you know, they've had life circumstances since then that they dealt with the bulletin board inquiry while this thing is going on, right? So, and it's okay, we don't know the bulletin board needs to get done. That's not what we're saying. But you know what we're saying is like to be in a space where you do look at a bigger picture. You do treat people like adults. You do cover down for one another, because we need to do that. And from a leadership perspective, we should be looking out for people like that. But from that pause to breathe, clarity came up for you that you knew you needed to be out of there.
Yeah, I had to.
Out of there.
It would have killed me.
And then that negotiation started with yourself of like what that can look like, how that can look. You jumped. But on the way down, the raft part is, okay, so what's next? I don't know, but something has to be, you know. And somewhere in this journey, we didn't really mention specifically, but I know it has happened because just of my engagement with you, somewhere along that journey, even to emergency management, somewhere in this life, you started 2 companies.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You started 2 businesses.
Yeah.
The networking thing launched you. But those still pieces of you that were going out and like drawing strings, and you didn't feel like those had to end just because you stepped into this new world of emergency management and everything like that. So that just brings me to this whole innovation. When you pause to breathe, let it in, let yourself step into that uncomfortable space of actually thinking of doing something maybe differently than what you have. And I think for some of us, when we're going so fast, we don't even know that that's the case.
Right.
We just don't pause. We just keep putting it.
People always push through. I need sleep. Like I need to eat.
Exactly.
Like, once I realized that, like,
and the thing, like,
you're not doing yourself any good.
No, and how our bodies even deal with that grief that we come into, the extra stress that we come into, carrying stress because we do it well, don't realize that we're just tearing ourselves up on the inside, and then our body starts trying to show us little signs of what that is happening when we don't get it because we're still. Let's go, you know. But yeah, in that moment, you negotiate with yourself, and you're like, nah, something's got to be different. Here's the cool thing is while you still stay true to everything that you had learned and developed, the best things about yourself were still the through line in there, right?
Yeah.
Even when we're in our down moments, I'm saying that to you because even when you're down, even when you're decision, you're not letting go of everything.
Yeah.
You're still holding on to some of these things that even if you can't name it quite yet, that's my whole goal, is to get people to name it.
Yeah.
Name that thing so that you can intentionally hold on to it through all of these steps. But here comes innovation. And for you, innovation is still in process, right? But you you've had some moments to innovate. Tell us a little bit about your businesses and how you came to do those, because I think that's part of some of your innovation.
Yeah, no, I actually have done I would say 4 different businesses.
Okay.
It's absolutely hilarious.
Awesome.
So, the first one I would say I really started, I think I can get no, I didn't get an LLC about it, but I did get a logo.
Okay.
Press Us, it was T-shirts.
Okay.
We were making T-shirts. So I was learning how to screen print. I was learning how to make the screen itself, how to seal it, and all. I like to buy stuff that's actually going to work. So I was spending thousands of dollars on equipment for
because you wanted the real deal.
Because those more would have been top tier.
Yes.
But so I started doing T-shirts, and that didn't last too long. I mean, I started in Oklahoma. I would say maybe a year and a half, but I wasn't serious about it. That's something I wasn't say I wasn't serious. I just wasn't adamant about getting orders and doing all these different things. It just got to be expensive. I was paying storage rent. I was paying rent, and my storage was $700. So and you're paying rent, which is almost $2,000, and I wasn't making money like that. You know what I mean? It wasn't even paying for itself. So I was losing money. So I was like, okay, I sold all that.
Sure.
And then I started doing what I first started doing in pandemic was L Visions, which was in its original form, which is eyewear. So I was buying glasses. I was on the computer. I was remote during COVID. So I was buying blue light glasses and just glasses you could put your prescriptions in and things like that. So I was doing that for a long time. I had a lot of success with that, but again, I was spending a lot of money on inventory.
Yes.
I had boxes in the house.
Yeah.
Glasses. I had to buy samples for glasses. I had to do all these different types. At some point, I think I had over 1,000 pairs of glasses. I was making $1,000 in a weekend for making not much.
Right.
And I only $1,000 a week. I was like, this is actually this ain't I'm actually okay with this. So there's that, but then it just got more and more expensive to hold all the inventory because I was making $1,000, but I did spend. I invested $3,000 to $4,000. I made probably $4,000, but I spent $4,000. So it wasn't profiting. I was making money, but I wasn't profiting. Yeah. Then I started doing wine glasses and I started drinking wine. So I was like, and that's funny because I was supposed to do wine glasses originally.
Okay.
I had this super cute set of samples that I had. And then I don't know why, something just told me not to do it. I don't know why I didn't listen to myself. But then I started doing wine glasses and then that started doing good. Again, spending a lot of money. I still have wine glasses in storage now.
Okay.
They're absolutely beautiful. And I wanted to do a red wine, a flute, and a white wine.
Okay.
And do the flute during the summer for mimosas, white wine during the fall, and red wine during whatever.
Yeah.
But I just never got around to doing it because it's a lot of inventory. It's boxes. So I'm going down the hallway sideways, shuffling to go to the room, to go to the bathroom, shuffling to go to sleep. So it just got to a point where it was just like, this is a lot of money. And again, I was breaking even, but I wasn't profiting. So I was like, I need to do something. And I was in education for so long. Why am I not doing nothing in education?
Gotcha.
So it wasn't until PCBA that I was like, what's your zone of genius? I was like, teaching. Talking, like facilitating, doing something, that I was using me, myself, and I. And so once I started doing that, PCBA I started doing that. I started doing the workshops. I started working with kids, and so this now a year later, now I'm doing speaking engagements, now I'm doing workshops even more, and then now I'm about to start my own cohort of students to where I'm helping them with career college readiness.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so being able to work with the students. When I was flourishing in high school, doing those same things that people were doing for me. Yeah. I had to go to a 4-year, so I went to Wazoo, but now these kids have options. They got options. You can do entrepreneurship and work. You can work and do whatever.
It's true.
You can do a military and have your own business. So there's so many different routes. And all of them have their pros and cons. There's different ways to swing it. So entrepreneurship, military, trade school, apprenticeship, all those different types of things that you can explore. And so we can all explore together. So working with the students, being able to let them figure out navigate, these are all your options. You have a lot of different options, a lot of different routes you can take. Yeah. And I think it really is important that the students know that. I think it's important that the students are aware of that. And so really working with them is LinkedIn. You can get on LinkedIn at 16.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. You can get on
Okay.
LinkedIn at 16.
Okay.
So like these kids can start building that professional online resume on LinkedIn already. Hey, look at me volunteering.
I love that.
All those types of things. You can go
Yeah.
get a headshot. You can go do
Yeah.
all those types. So that's kind of what I'm facilitating. Kind of mimicking PCBA.
Yeah.
Having 8 weeks, I'm working with you.
Yeah.
Hands-on. We're getting all these deliverables. We're going after all these scholarships, which is in our world is grants.
Yeah.
We're going after all these different types of things so that you can be set up and go after certifications, go after
That is so
qualifications
cool.
and skills. So that's kind of what I am looking forward to and pushing with those students. And then also working with students to build their professional selves in middle school and elementary. Because a lot of students, they see social media and they think that's how you're supposed to act and that's how you're supposed to talk.
That's
They use
true.
abbreviations and,
That's true.
and not knowing how to shake a hand.
Yeah.
Those types of things. So really working with those youth to really get them exposed to like what it really takes. Like I was teaching networking over the summer.
Yeah.
Just, hey, introduce yourself. Or,
Yeah.
my name is blah, blah. That's not your name. Carlos, not your name. Blah, 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 blah. Ain't it? Jeremiah.
I'm like, did your mom really?
Jeremiah tell you? No, Jeremiah. Let's try Jeremiah.
Yeah.
So, really getting them like, you cannot do those things.
Sure.
I think it's okay, but like, you can't do those
Yeah.
things.
So you gotta, there's a place.
Yeah.
And
I really not teaching them a code switch, but teaching them a place for everything.
you're advancing yourself and you want people, even of your own community, to take you serious. And they need to know like, hey, this is where, when they show up to do business with you or to work with you, that this is what they're getting. So, and yes, if you want to catch me outside playing spades,
that's a whole nother conversation. I'm not wearing this place.
I'm Bubbo.
Yeah, I'm Bubbo. I'm Bubbo.
I'm Bubbo out there. Okay.
Exactly. So really honing in on my education and teaching aspect and really working with youth, developing a nice space where they can do those things and feel comfortable. So that's kind of what is coming. And then also just doing workshops with adults and workshops with parents. That's what I realized with education. Parents are so highly mixed. They don't know anything that's going on in the classroom. So I really want to be able to work with parents, primarily in elementary, because that's where I was at. And I've seen the disconnect, but just work with parents in general to get them more acclimated to what it means to lead your child through high school. They drop their hand at middle school and they can be involved in middle school.
Yeah.
They should definitely be involved in high school, but only elementary gets the main focus, and then they start
it's true
pulling themselves out. So really work with parents as well to be able to get them up to speed, but then also just do leadership and professionalism with adults as well. Because I think that age doesn't matter. I think that it's really important that I can, even my experiences, like whatever I talked about today can help somebody else.
Exactly.
You just never know what
don't know
you say.
Yeah.
So if I can say a bingo goal setting board is going to help and it makes sense, that is my way of teaching.
Yes.
If I can say working quarters, that is my way of teaching.
Yeah.
Like, so whatever it is it really is just pouring out. The more you give, the more you get. And so I'm looking to give as much as I can.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Which in real honesty, that is at the crux and really why our society is struggling so much, because it's a lot of individualism out there, which, extremes are always going to be the hard spots, right? This extreme and that extreme. So I love that you mentioned that about the giving, because giving is so important. And sometimes we've been in positions where people have abused our giving, and they get not only what we give, but then they take way more from that based on how the system is set up. They're still considering it as a gift from us, but really it's a take. You're really taking it. And we're sitting up here trying to survive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah.
And so, but I love that you said that, because that is so key and it's beautiful. Last question, I think, unless something pops in my mind. What advice that everyone calls good actually makes you feel smaller or more constrained? Have you ever had that situation where somebody thinking they're giving you good advice, but it wasn't like that? Ooh.
Push through. Like,
ooh. You speak on that a little bit, because I feel like some of that is in our community a little.
Yeah. Like Black men, especially when you can't cry, you can't have emotions. They need their own support system. They need to be able to have spaces where they can come and be vulnerable and have those moments. I was listening to a podcast with my sister, who keeps calling me, but I was listening to a podcast with her, and she was talking about how these men just, they don't get the opportunity to experience their emotions and go through it and be okay with going through it.
Sure.
And push through is a false narrative. People are pushing that a lot. And it's like, you need that self-care talk is really important. And for me, people, a lot of people think, oh, massage. And I actually just want to watch Scandal. I actually hate getting my nails done.
Right.
I hate getting my hair done. I like the finished product.
Right.
I hate the process.
Right.
You don't have to put the wax on my feet. Just paint them. Cut the cuticle and paint. It's not relaxing for me to be sitting here and then you're moving my hand, you're checking my stuff, and it's not relaxing. So for me, like, really find out what self-care is. I bought a coloring book to see if coloring will be something that'll be fun for me. I'm trying to get back more into reading. So I'm really trying to figure out, and people keep asking, what are your hobbies? Especially like therapy, like, what are your hobbies? I said,
We don't do
I work.
We don't do
But not a so like I have no hobbies. And then I would go to these trainings like, okay, so tell me something that you like to do. This guy was like, I fly planes.
Hey.
He's like, yeah, I fly planes on the weekend.
On weekends.
It's like, what? I am a designer and stuff. It's just like,
I will say you
I work.
you
Like you.
You do create businesses. There is a level of creativity that goes into what you're doing, even when you're picking things that somebody else has done. And, the market might have other t-shirt people or whatever. You're still bringing you to the picture. And as an MBA, you're bringing that skill set. But, I mean, you put thought into why you're choosing. It might be a demand thing. Like, people were in front of screens 24/7. So those you get glasses or something. I don't know what your therapist said to you that day. I would encourage you to keep doing what you're doing and just dabble in all little things here and there and see if you find that thing, because there's lots of benefit to it as far as like getting another little benchmark where you can go and test yourself to see if you have slowed at all. You know what I'm saying? And self-care, like, I agree with you on that. Like, I'll go get my nails done and all of that. And I like the after, like you said, but not always the experience itself, because then it's like, sometimes it's just like, okay, I don't really want to have any conversation. Like,
talk.
I don't want to talk.
And I don't.
And
like in general, like, you know what I mean? Like, I just like, so for me, it's more of really just trying to figure out like what that looks like. I do love talking. So like when I was at those vendor events, that was fun.
Yes.
That was fun. I get to talk to you like, you like big glasses. Well, let's check those ones out. You may like them on there, but they may not look good.
Right.
You may think they look good on and you hate them down there. So
Sure.
I like talking to people. I like doing all those types of things. And so I'll go to the comedy club now. I'm going to work there now, but like, I'm trying to find those hobbies so I can escape.
Which that is one. That is one.
I love
believe that. I love going to those when I get a chance to.
Yeah, like I'm like, one of my friends, we were just talking. Actually, my sorority sister too. She was just like, we have a lot of depth within our wazoo, like at school, and then just in our some other fraternities and stuff like that. So we were just like, talking about that, and I was just like, yeah, maybe you want to come laugh. Do you want to come laugh?
Just
like,
come laugh.
You don't have to like do too much. Like, you just want to come laugh. But I'm still trying to figure that part out.
Yeah.
But I mean, life is good. I travel. So I'm like, how can I book the next flight? I'm saving money on my car insurance and my car insurance.
So now it's
where
like,
can I go?
Yeah.
That's my next. Am I going to LA or am I going to New York? Like, where am I going to go next? Like really go escape again. I didn't go nowhere for the past 2 weeks, but then I go somewhere these next 2 weeks.
See,
I'm just so.
I know I'll be on your timeline.
It's so funny. People you walk up to me like, oh my God, I see it even. It's like, I forgot about that thing. Yes, I'm about to go somewhere now.
Which I like that. And so that honestly is kind of a hug for you.
Yeah,
it's supposed to cost more than somebody, but you gonna figure it out.
Right.
It's like, I'm going. I'm,
No, literally. And I try to stack events. So like, I'll go to Oklahoma this weekend, and there's not much sports going on, but I think there's a 5K. So I try to stack it all, so I'm not just like in the room or the hotel or whatever I'm staying in. I try not to stay there, but like in general, sometimes I just like going to another city and just sleeping. I'm sleeping in New York right now. Like, my life is good. And like things are good right now. So that's kind of how I try to do it. But there's sometimes I'm just like, I'm really just working. That's all I'm doing. And so it's nice to like have a little bit more laid back. Yeah, I kind of make up for it for travel.
I love that.
Yeah.
So we are gonna wrap. And I want you to think about what's one thing that you would say to somebody who's just at that point where they feel like they just know something's not right. They don't know what it is. They just know something's not right. Like how would you encourage them to move from there?
Give it to God.
I love it.
I swear that one walk really started changing like my heart posture, and it really started changing the way I view things.
Yeah.
And I realized that I'm not that good. He's better. You know what I mean? He's so much better, no matter how good of anything I'm good at. Like he's so much better, and it's just a weight off your own shoulders. Like, just pray about it. That's really what it is. Just really just pray about like, if it's something like, should I go out to eat? Should I go out to eat? Should I cook? And I like just something, even do the small things. Do the small things.
You're doing them to get your reps. You get your reps.
Thank you. Okay. It's the batting average. The book, the Jarvis Circle, the 4-day prayer challenge, talking about batting average. You need to have a batting average of your prayers. Start praying about everything. Oh, let me pray. Make sure I make it to the car. And make sure I make it home. Let me make sure I do this. It doesn't have to be, I need a job and I need this. And it doesn't have to be something massive, because problems to God, it doesn't matter how big it is to you, it's still small to him.
Yeah.
Because he got to worry about me. You may think what you're talking about is a massive thing. To him, it's still the same way. You ask him to make it home and you ask him for $1 million. It's the same thing to him.
Yeah.
It's the same way to him.
That's amazing.
So it's really just about praying about it, walking, like literally all those little slogans that you see. Those ones are the ones that to follow. Like, eat an apple a day. No one's ever done that, but I'm sure you'll be healthy.
It's true.
Like, and eat an apple a day.
And then it's like that, getting something fresh in your body.
You know, I was reading another book. It's like, most people don't eat a piece of fruit for 4 or 5 days and out of the week. Yeah, a piece of fruit. You eating everything else. So I really just say, like, pray about it, ask God about it, give it to God, and then you just start working on His will. And once you start working on His will, you're straight. Things are really going to start opening up. The doors that you're going to meet the people that you need to meet. You're going to talk to people that you need to talk to.
Yeah.
You're going to do the things that you need to do. And then things are just going to start working out. You won't recognize it until after. Shoot, like, I didn't even realize I made it this far.
That's so beautiful.
So that's
I love that so much. Thank you. Thank you. So tell the people where they can connect with you, if they want to find you, if they have a student that they want to engage with you, or if they just want to pick your brain, if you have moments for that. She's busy, y'all, but if she can, you know.
I would definitely say LinkedIn. LinkedIn's definitely for sure. So Tyisha Brown L. You're going to have it in there. Yeah. But Tyisha Brown L on LinkedIn is really important. I think you can do TRB Creative Solutions on Instagram. So so those are 2 main spots that I would say. Yeah, just reach out and see how we can just work together, how we can help, how we can support and stuff like that, because I think that's really important, supporting each other. Like, you know what I mean? Like, really being able to be like, not what can I take you, what can I help, what can I give and support you with.
True.
So like, even if it's like, hey, I'm doing this, you're doing an event, you just want some help. Okay, great. Reach out. If you need help trying to figure that out, like this, you know, like whatever we can talk about, and it doesn't matter to me. So
I love it. And that is why I wanted Ty to come with us today. She is amazing. And I hope you've enjoyed this conversation as much as I have. Thank you all for joining today on the Dynamic Pause podcast. We'll see you next time.
Yes. Bye, guys.
Are you a productivity perfectionist hiding behind your checklist, or a seasoned leader frustrated by what used to work but doesn't anymore? You've been holding your breath for too long. Ataruka specializes in helping ambitious professionals take their dynamic pause to breathe, negotiate, and innovate their way forward. From one-on-one coaching to team consulting and workshops, we'll help you rediscover your core purpose and lead with conviction. The life you desire isn't as far away as it seems. Start your journey at transform.coach.
Take a pause in the moment. Breathe deep, let the soul lift. The podcast is to grow with. The clarity is potent. Take a pause in the moment. Breathe deep, let the soul lift. The podcast is to grow with. The clarity is potent.